My agent one time, Silvio Lund, big shout outs to Silvio Lund creating this career for me. But he goes, "You're so funny all the time." He goes, "Sometimes just break down and have a moment." That's not funny with him. And I was like,
Mhm.
"No, I need to keep the momentum." Because, once I get on, I like to just boom, 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 boom. And he goes, "Man, sometimes you just need to just tell them how you really feel,
Sure.
and not in a
Yeah.
joke form." Because he says, "You got the jokes."
Yeah.
And that was a Houston show because I couldn't remember all my jokes. I actually started doing that. I was like, "Oh, okay. Now I see what he's talking about. Hey, what's up? It's Michael. Yo, welcome to the Yo Show. Wow, we got a lot to talk about today. Nate Bargatze doing the Golden Globes. Was it the Golden Globes? Emmys.
The Emmys. Mhm.
The Emmys. Nate Bargatze doing the Emmys. Also, what other story did you have, Rudy?
Oh, I sent you something about Brooke Hogan, Hulk Hogan's daughter,
Yeah,
not being in Hulk Hogan's will.
I want to talk about that as well because I knew Brooke Hogan for a good 5-6 years strong.
Oh, wow. I
because
suppose, yeah, you lived in Florida, right?
I lived in Florida, but also she was an artist. She had,
Mhm.
I don't want to call it a hit song, but she had a song that did really well on our radio station. So she would always pop by because she was just like literally maybe an hour away.
Yeah.
So, I've gone, me, Ryan Cabrera, and that whole crew, we would all go out with Brooke Hogan and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun, and we'll talk about that. But first of all, I want to say thank you. I did the Houston House of Blues in my hometown. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was packed. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. And I'm talking to you. Thank you for coming out. It was great. It was great.
Great.
And this weekend, look, I'm not going to lie to you. New York. I haven't been to New York in like 5 years. Place is called the Gramercy. And I think we're going to do well. We're not there yet. So please, New York City, please, New York City, come on out. They said because after the tariffs and everything dropped, a lot of tickets are starting to move last minute because people don't want to make decisions too early,
Mhm.
because they don't know financially where they're going to be. And I get that. I get that. Like me and my wife, we're going to take the kids somewhere last night. And I go, "Did you get the ticket?" She goes, "No, I wanted to wait till the last minute just to make sure we were going to go."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
and then when I got home, she was like, "Nah, we don't feel like going." So thank goodness she didn't buy the tickets. That would have been wasted money.
Yep. Also, in the business that we're in, I think a lot of people wait to see if maybe they can get free tickets. That happens a lot with people that are in our circle where they're like, "I want to come to the show, but I'm not willing to spend $45 on you."
Well, look,
You
no,
know?
it's so true because I have a friend that will not pay ever for tickets.
No.
They're like, they said, I've lived in Vegas. I've been a publicist in Vegas. I give so many free tickets out. I'm not ever paying for a ticket
Yeah.
again. I was like, I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. If that's your
Absolutely.
prerogative.
Yeah, that is sort of why that's a little bit of a reason as to why we get into this business. In radio, I never paid for a ticket. I refused. I was like, there's no way. That's why I got into this business. I get underpaid in the business, so the business can afford me free tickets when the concert that I want to go see comes to town.
100%.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I guess it's called just kind of jumping around on topics like we always do. But nepo babies, those are babies that kind of born into stuff.
Hmm.
Dude, what parent wouldn't give their kids an advantage?
Of
If it's
course. Yeah.
legal. Like
Yeah, of course.
if my son was like, "Dad, I want you to take me on the road and I want to open up for you, but I want to develop a good 10 minutes." And I go, "Do the work, do the 10 minutes, and I'll take you on the road."
Hmm.
Yes. You could be like, "Well, you give him all the advantage." No, yes, and no. He's still got to do that's what I love about comedy. You still got to do the work.
Absolutely.
Where if you're a Fortune 500 company and you got one owner, he could make his son run the company that has no idea what they're doing. And
Hmm.
I guess a comic could do that too with his son, but it makes the main comic look terrible. And you get to see your son get it crapped on every single night, and people talking trash about him.
Yeah, good friend of ours, Josh Wolf, he does that with his son. His son comes on
Yeah.
the road with him, but he also says, "Hey, you got to go out there and eat it just like everybody else. I'm not writing your jokes. I'm not fast tracking you. You got to be the one to go out there." I think it would be great if Josh takes his son on the road and makes him stay at like La Quintas and Super 8s while Josh stays at the Four Seasons. And you're like, listen,
I
you
would
really
love
got to
that.
get a taste of
I
taste of
think that would be amazing. I think that would be absolutely amazing. Like, but you know why we don't do that? Why I couldn't? Because it makes it harder on us. Because now we got to get two separate cars. We got to get two. I got to worry about him. So it's
Yeah.
just easier for them to be in the same hotel. But Rudy had, I guess, his first major headlining weekend outside of Minneapolis, right?
Yeah. So I've headlined shows before, just like one-offs, but I've never
Yeah,
done like an
a
entire
weekend.
full weekend. But yeah, 5 shows, El Paso comic strip. It was great. Got up early Friday, did some press out here, went and did a television spot Friday afternoon, which was about the biggest waste of time I've ever had in my life.
Oh,
There was no
why?
reason.
Why?
It
Tell
was
me.
Well, when you go and do TV, I guess I'm just so used to the spots that I've done, and then coming on to, going on the road with you and going to see the
Yeah.
press that you do. I'm used to WGN. I'm used to people that are,
Yes.
they're bubbly and they're fun, and they sit down and it's more of a conversation. Dude, I got there at 4 o'clock. I sat in the lobby for 27 minutes. Guy, I was watching the monitor, and the guy's like, "Yeah, plus this weekend there's a comedy show." And then they go right to commercial, and I'm like, "Is that guy bringing me on now?" And he runs out into the lobby. He's like, "Hey, come on, we got to go. We're back on the air in 90 seconds." I go running into the studio. There's a chair with a mic draped over it. I pick it up. I'm like, "Is this the microphone?" He's like, "Yeah, sit there. Look into that camera. Don't look at me." I put the mic on. The guy's like, "Hey, so we got a comedian in town this weekend, Rudy Pavich. He's at the comic strip. Hey, Rudy, what is the state of comedy this year?" It's like, the
Oh
what?
my gosh.
It's like, the what of what? I didn't know what. I was like, I guess it's pretty good. I mean, it's good enough where I'm here, but it's bad enough where you're interviewing me. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know what you want me to tell you. And then I was literally. It took me 3 times longer to get there in an Uber than what the actual interview was. And that night when I got on stage, I'm like, "How many of you saw me on TV today?" And everyone's like, "Nah."
No,
And I was like, "Oh, $30 round trip for an Uber, and what a waste of time that was."
I did 6 outlets in Houston, but that's my hometown, so they throw me on. So I didn't feel like
Sure.
any of them were a waste. They were all fun. But I've been in those where you show up and you feel like you're an inconvenience to them.
That was the exact feeling that I had. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I thought was, "I'm so sorry I put you out to do this."
Yeah. I'm so sorry it took 90 seconds of your time to interview me like crap.
Yeah.
So how'd it go this weekend? Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. There was the Canelo fight was this weekend, which
Oh, man.
and that is, if you know anything about that guy, man, Mexico treats that
His
guy.
people are in
Yeah,
El Paso, bro.
dude. And yeah, so the Friday night, because there was only one show Friday night, which was almost sold out. I think we were about 12 tickets away from sellout. And then Saturday, the early show was, maybe 55, maybe
Yeah.
60, because it was like everybody was, I mean, people were telling me that they came out on Friday specifically because they
Yeah.
already have like
Canelo
a
fight.
big
Yeah.
Canelo fight plan, like a party that they were all going to. So, but yeah, it was good, man. It was good. It was good to like go up and do 50 minutes and really kind of see where, the first 35 to 40 I know is so tight because I do most of those jokes when I'm on the road with you. But that last sort of like 10 to 15 still kind of needs to be worked out a little bit. It was kind of fun to watch it in real time. Just go, you're on stage and you're noticing something isn't going well. And you're like, "Oh, I know where I can put this and change this." And then you go back to, so it's almost like you grow so fast when you do 5 shows at 45 to 50 minutes each that it's exciting. It really is. It's great.
Dude, I was on stage in Houston at the House of Blues, and I didn't know what I was doing. Literally, I haven't done comedy in a month and a half. I mean, the audience didn't know it, and Tone watched it, and Andrew Tarr, but they said it was great. But I said, no, really, because I felt like I was everywhere. Like I would
Hmm.
start concepts, and I remember I was saying this one thing that's not even part of my act, but it hit home with the crowd because it was a heartfelt moment. But I
Sure.
said that heartfelt moment thinking the jokes would, you know how you kind of waste time, like, okay, something's gonna hit me.
Yeah.
And then I looked at it on my watch. I'm like, oh, I'm at 56 minutes, so I'm gonna just end it. And I went into my ending bit, but I
Hmm.
was like, where are the jokes? They're not coming to me, which was an amazing feeling because a lot of it was made up. A lot of creativity on my side happened at that HOB show because I couldn't remember it. But
Yeah.
it
Well,
was a
like,
fun time.
yeah, they always tell you, like, if you're a newer comic that, hey, go up and do more time than amount of time you have material. So if they ask you to do 40 minutes and you only have 30, that's great. because now you have to figure out that next 10. It'll make you become a better comic as time goes on. Plus, I like guys that I can't do it. I like when people can go up and just write it on stage. I think that's
Oh
great.
man,
Yeah.
I had like 3 or 4 moments with the crowd that were great. I had a couple concepts I just threw out that went great. So I felt like, unlike a lot of shows, I felt like, because it was my hometown, I knew a lot of the people that gave me grace, and it was a great show. Tone Bell crushed, Andrew Tarr did well. And I felt like I grew more at that show than most other shows where you're just so good and tight, where it's
Hmm.
kind of like hit play.
Hit play.
And then,
Yeah.
but this one, I couldn't hit play because I forgot the tape or whatever. It's like, let me
Yeah.
figure out, like, how I normally come out with this, old versus young bit. I totally forgot all that. I didn't know, I forgot it.
Yeah.
And for the life of me, I couldn't remember it. And as soon
Yeah.
as I got off stage, everything started to download.
Of course. Yeah.
I was
Yeah. That's why.
but
Yeah. See, that's why this weekend I wrote my set list before every single show, so
yeah,
my brain could go, "This is what it is." Yeah.
and I didn't, because I was like, and not that I didn't think I would remember it or not. I was like, and I told Tone this after shooting that game show. It was exhausting. 160 episodes in 4.5 weeks. I was mentally exhausted, but also there's this pressure now of growing as a comic rather than doing the show, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
I love the shows and I did put on a good performance. It was a great performance, lots of great few, but I'm more now the pressure of tickets, the pressure of I got to be great this show or they're never coming back has left, because I'm not a theater act yet. I think I will be. But I also know with that pressure, you don't grow as fast as you would where if you just let it go. And I
Yeah.
felt like that Houston show was the first time I was just like, I'm happy I don't know a lot of my jokes because we had a great time. I went into some heartfelt moments that initially, I'm not going to lie, I did it to stall to try to remember a joke.
Yeah. Of course.
But I was like, people were so like touched by it. I was like, I need to add more of this in my set because they said it made you feel so human and not perform. Because I talked about I talked about my dad 80 and my mom 74, and it scares me,
Sure.
because I said, I know a lot of you have lost your parents, but I haven't. And that really scares me. I don't know what to do, and I've never shared this moment and I went in a little bit more and they all started clapping. Like they
Hmm.
felt it was such a feeling in the room. I go, man, I think that probably hit people harder than a lot of my jokes
Sure.
and
Yeah.
and really
Yeah.
touched them. And I was like, I feel like, my agent one time, Silvio Lund, big shout outs to Silvio Lund creating this career for me. But he goes, you're so funny all the time. He goes, sometimes just break down and have a moment. That's not funny with him. And I was like,
Hmm.
no, I need to keep the momentum. Because, once I get on, I like to just boom, 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 boom. And he goes, man, sometimes you just need to just tell them how you really feel,
Sure.
and not in a
Yeah.
joke form, because he says, you got the jokes.
Yeah.
And that was a Houston show because I couldn't remember all my jokes. I actually started doing that. I was like, oh, okay. Now I see what he's talking about.
Yeah. We talk about this with other comics where sometimes you go, "What else you got?"
Yeah.
Where you see somebody just do something for 20 minutes and you go, okay, well, what else is there in the can? Because I've watched this. Now you got to give me something different. And that's why this weekend, I was chatting with another comic friend of mine who's a great writer. And he goes, when you get to like that 15-minute mark, those stories that you have at the end of the set, slide those into the middle. It'll break up those punchy jokes and then you can
Yeah.
it layers it out. People just don't, they're not just getting bombarded. It's like, okay, you can tell a joke in 13 syllables. We get it. We get it. We do try something different.
You
So
know what it is? It's a song, right? The
sure,
song doesn't hook.
peaks and valleys.
Some songs hit you with the hook at the beginning, but then they sing before the hook again. And if you know music, the hook is what people remember first.
Sure. Yeah.
So your first 15 minutes is the hook, but then you got to sing. And what I learned in that House of Blues song, when I sing, people like that too, because people
Sure.
like the singing too. They
Yeah.
love the
Yeah.
hook, they love the
Yeah.
but they also love you breaking down in a song how you feel,
Yeah.
and then you get right back to the hooks. You know, so it
Yeah,
was great. I felt like I grew. But I want to take a break right here. We're gonna come back. Make sure you check out my tour schedule, michaelyo.com. You're gonna be in New York City, right?
I will be there in Annapolis.
Rudy
Absolutely.
leaves me so much now on tour. I don't know where Rudy's going to be. He's opening up for Adam Carolla. He's a headliner now across the country. This guy is growing his own brand. I don't know anymore. I got to ask him where he's at. Nah,
Yeah.
I'm very happy for you, by the way. So Rudy is going to be in New York, and then we do Annapolis, which I think is not far from Baltimore.
Yeah, just a little south of it, southeast of it. Yep.
And that show is almost sold out, which is amazing because I don't even know where Annapolis is. So we still got to figure out. I know we fly into DCA, but I don't. How are we going to get there? Maybe we rent a car? No, we should just get a. It's about 40 minutes from the airport, right?
Yeah, I think it's about 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah, so
we'll just Uber. We'll just Uber then. We'll be right back. This is the Yo Show. All right, welcome back to the Yo Show. That is Rudy. I'm Michael Yo. What's on your shirt, bro?
Bob Uecker.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Milwaukee,
Bob Uecker,
right?
the Milwaukee Brewers. Yeah, who passed away right before the start of the season. Yeah, Milwaukee's playing great right now. Possible World Series run. The Green Bay Packers are playing well. Probably the best team in the league right now.
Wait,
so it's a good time.
Wait, didn't they lose last week? No, they lost this weekend.
No, Packers are 2-0. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they're 2-0. Yeah. No, they beat the Commanders and they beat the Lions.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So Miami had a good game.
Big shout out to the Miami Hurricanes. It's all about that you. It's all about that you. Oh,
yeah.
They beat down. Everybody was talking about USF. Had to put the smack down on nobody. Yeah. Shut them up. Shut up. Florida Gators, you next. You next, Florida Gators.
Oh, is that who they play this week? Is Florida? Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. So let's talk about Nate Bargatze. Big shout outs to Nate Bargatze. I don't know him. Actually, I've been trying to meet him. Like I'm trying to find people that I know, like Derek Yells or Derek Stroop, phenomenal comic, by the way. I'm like, dude, I gotta meet Nate Bargatze. Because, I'm clean comedy. I'm that guy now. I just shot a dry bar special, which was big shout outs to Keith and Mary. Man, this dry bar special, when it drops, it's going to be like, I can't say what they said about it because I don't want to offend any other, but bro, it's coming. It's and this special, standing ovations. It was fire, bro. Anyway, Dry Bar, it'll come out in January. I know that. So that'll be a big pop. And then I'll be in Korea in October, and my special is going to be re-released for the Korean market, all in Korean. I got a dude in Korea to translate, and he's funny. He hits the tone. So it's like,
nice.
You hit play in Korea, you'll hear his voice instead of mine. And then I'm going to do something with him in Korea. I'm going to do something with the voice in Korea.
That's awesome. So you're going to Korea in October?
October 2nd through 10th. Okay. I'll be in Korea. I'm shooting the Oprah-like show in Korea. It's called Kim Chung-ok.
Okay.
And he's massive in Korea. He's like the Oprah. Great. And my mom's going to be on with me.
Okay.
So we're both
awesome, man. I didn't know. That's great. Wow, good for you, dude. That's fantastic.
I've had so many comedy clubs in Korea hit me up, but the problem is I would do a show, but I'm not because it's the Korean holiday. It's like their Thanksgiving. So, and since the show's not all in Korean, I don't know how many people would come out. So we're just going to wait. I'm going to do the Kim Chung-ok show and maybe like 3 or 4 months after that, come back for like another week and do some shows. They got an American club out there.
Yeah. I got a friend of mine that was just there.
My friend Sammy Obeid was there. And he said it's phenomenal. So it's a lot of GIs that come out and a lot of Korean people that speak English. So we're going to come out there and do a bunch of shows. So anyway, Nate Bargatze hosting the Emmys. Tell me about it.
Dude, so Nate Bargatze last night, I don't know if you watched the monologue at all. Great. It was a little weird. It was a little stilted. I thought he would just come out and just do rapid fire jokes. But the concept, it's still good. Yeah. And the thing that I liked about what he did was he said, here's what we're doing. I'm taking $100,000 of my own money, and I'm going to give it to the Boys and Girls Club of America. It's up to you guys how much more or less money that we give, because you guys get 45 seconds for your acceptance speech. And for every second that you go over your acceptance speech 45 seconds, I will deduct $1,000 from the $100,000 that I'm going to give. And
Absolutely
then
hilarious.
hilarious because people were like, and they once they got the concept of it, like, oh, this is on them to make sure. So it was funny because I believe it was Seth Rogen the first was it, and I think he said, so how much did he go over or under? Okay, well he was 6 seconds under, so they added an extra 6,000 on top of the 106. So by the end of it, they basically were like, okay, so here's what we're going to do. This was all a lot of fun, but CBS has decided that they're going to kick in $100,000, and I'm going to give $250,000 of my own money to the Boys and Girls Club. And yeah, obviously it was a big deal, and yeah,
It's a
it
great
was fun
hook.
to watch him. Yeah, great hook. It was so much more creative and better than what I think the Emmys and Golden Globes have had throughout the last couple of years. I know Nikki Glazer was fantastic, but it's like they just come out and they just do the same thing. It's like just go out and do 4 minutes of jokes and then go right back
So,
into the
so let
show
me ask
again.
you
But
this. I didn't see his monologue, but was this the main part of the monologue, this
yeah,
contest?
he came out and did maybe about 30 to 40 seconds of sort of not really jokes, just sort of talking about like, oh man, we're here. It's the
Okay.
77th annual, Emmy Awards, whatever. And then kind of launched into that, and that was the main chunk of it, and then moved on to the show. But it was I didn't watch the Emmys. I had a show last night, and plus, Minnesota was playing. It was the Vikings
Oh,
Falcons
did the
game, but
Vikings win?
no, they got destroyed last night. It was
Oh.
terrible, terrible. But I had up, let's see if I can find it here. I had up the winners list, and there was a couple of winners on here that I thought were like the outstanding drama series. It's called The Pit. Did you ever see it? It's on HBO.
You know what? I haven't seen anything. Then that's why I
Okay.
didn't host the Emmys this year because I got asked by several shows to do it. Because usually I'm on the red carpets.
Hmm.
Well, first of all, I was doing this other TV show, but I've been so busy I haven't watched anything. Why? What the
Sure.
pits we should
So
watch?
it's called The Pit. I watched the first episode. Actually, I watched about half the first episode. It's a little too gruesome for me. It's about an emergency room in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh, and boy, they like people come in, they got bones sticking out of their legs, and I'm like, it's just it's like
yeah.
life is hard enough. I can't sit and watch it, but I did like what I saw for the first episode. Outstanding drama series, it won that. Outstanding comedy series, The Studio. I only watched one
Oh,
episode.
now
That
I will say this: Seth Rogen show, the studio, phenomenal,
yeah,
absolutely
really funny.
phenomenal. I've watched every episode. I think they only made 8, so or 11, maybe 11 or 12. I can't
Yeah,
remember. I watched all of them, and it's absolutely shot beautifully. Seth Rogen's amazing. The whole cast is, and it's real. Like, if you're in Hollywood, this really happens. Like, it's so on the nose what really
sure.
happens in
Yeah,
Hollywood and all the madness and craziness. Maybe 20 years ago, like that. You know what I mean? Now
yeah.
with all the rules and Me Too, it doesn't happen now, but it depicts the Hollywood of 25 to like 40 years ago.
Sure. Yeah, he also won for outstanding actor in a comedy
It was
series.
great.
Yeah, outstanding actress in a comedy series. Jean Smart from Hacks, which is shot in Las
Of
Vegas. I
course.
love that show so
You
much.
know how
So
bad I've
good.
been trying to get on that show? Like,
You should be great.
they,
Yeah.
dude, I'm like, Gene, I'm in Vegas. And every time I tell my agents, they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just doesn't. I did. You know who I did though? They got me a big audition at the beginning of the show. Guess the person I auditioned for. Like they put me in the running for this character.
For
Have you ever
Hacks.
seen Hacks?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've watched it. Yeah, I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Which so the character, so Jean Smart's I bet it was Jean Smart's assistant, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gene Smart's assistant. I did that, but I did it straight, like me,
Hmm. Yeah.
because I think the character plays a gay guy.
He is. He's gay, but he's very classy. It's not like a
Yes.
overly flamboyant. Yeah, he's
So
very
I didn't
classy.
get the
Very.
role because I'm not classy at all, first of all. I don't speak like that. That's the major
Yeah,
reason I didn't get the role because the way he's so good at it, and me, you would have got this. It's like,
sure.
Gene, we got to do this, Gene. Come on. I would have
Yeah.
been more of,
Yeah. Also, Hannah, I'm going to say her name wrong. Hannah Einbinder from Hacks.
yeah.
The writer. She won for Best Supporting Actress, which you'll probably today or yesterday, since it's coming out on Tuesday, you'll probably find that her clip is going to be making the rounds because during her acceptance speech, she said something like, "Release the Epstein files, free Palestine, and F ICE," and that'll start making the rounds this week, which I found to be so funny because if you remember Michael Moore, remember Michael Moore, the documentary maker, the filmmaker?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, this was like 2004 or 5 when he won for best documentary at the Academy Awards. He got up and sort of started screaming, you know, President Bush, we're against this war, and people were booing him
Yeah.
off the stage. And nowadays, it's almost like if you don't make a political statement, people are like, they
I don't,
want you to make it and they cheer it.
It's weird because it goes back and forth, right? It just really depends if they're saying what your party wants to hear. You know what I
Absolutely,
mean?
that's a lot of
That's all
that.
it is.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
yeah,
If they were to say something about whoever on the right, everybody be like, yeah, that side. It's so divided now. Anything you say, and then she said that one side's going to be like, we just want to watch the Emmys. We
I
just
know,
want to hear
right?
about
Yeah,
awards. LeBron, shut up and dribble. Play
yeah,
basketball. But what's
yeah,
crazy to me about all the people that say shut up and play basketball, they're not in politics either. They work at
yeah,
Home Depot. They're working normal jobs like everybody else. It's like
yeah,
they're not in politics, but they're telling people to just shut up and dribble. So
yeah,
it's a divided world, and I make a concerted effort on my side because I'm not politically driven at all. Is when you come to my comedy shows, man, I just want to make people laugh and get away from all that outside stuff and be
yeah.
as clean as possible. And like my friend described me, it's like, you're not squeaky. Well, what do you say? You're not
Y- y-
squeaky.
you're clean, but you're not spotless.
Yes, I'm clean, but I'm not spotless, right?
Yeah,
And I think that pretty much describes my comedy. I'm not clean, but I'm clean, but I'm not spotless. That's perfect.
spotless. Yeah.
But when
Well,
you come to this show with Rudy, me, and whoever we bring, trust me, I no politics, no, because it's so divided. And I think we talked about this like 3 weeks ago.
mhm.
On the show. I put out a clip. It's like, I don't talk politics. People just too hot headed today. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And I'll
absolutely.
talk
Yep.
anything. Honestly, anything controversial, don't come to me because
Yeah.
I don't care.
I know. It's
I
so
don't. I
true.
my biggest thing in life is all I want to do is see my kids grow up and to get old. That's all I care about now. I'm old now.
Sure.
I ain't trying to
Yeah.
prove a point. I'm not trying to be the man. It's just like, come to my shows, watch me perform, and we all leave. That's
Yeah.
it.
Well, one thing we can all agree on is that the Penguin on HBO is outstanding. I thought it was by
Okay,
far one of the best
hang
series
on.
that came out throughout the
Hang
year. It's
on.
outstanding.
You told me to watch. Did it win any awards?
Yeah, it won a few. Also, that the lead actress, the Kristen, I'm going to say her name wrong,
Chenoweth?
Milotti, Kristen
I don't know
Milotti.
her.
Yeah, she played kind of like the, I guess, antagonist to the Penguin. I thought she was brilliant in that role, absolutely. And she won for outstanding actress in a limited series or movie. I thought it was so good. It was so well done. I thought Colin Farrell, you weren't even watching Colin Farrell play the Penguin.
Yes.
You were just watching the Penguin. Like that's how good he was.
I saw the Penguin. I watched 3 episodes and stopped because I
Hmm.
stopped traveling. That's the only reason, because I only watch TV shows when I travel,
Sure.
like in a plane a lot. But my
Yeah.
planes, so, and I got to be hooked. It was kind of, I thought the Penguin was really well done, but it
Hmm.
didn't like grab me where I needed to watch the next episode. The
Sure.
only TV show that's ever grabbed me where it's like, I got to watch the next episode, and it's an old Friday Night Lights.
Oh yeah,
That,
it's great.
oh
Yep.
my gosh, one of the best TV shows ever. That goes in my
Yeah.
Hall of Fame for me being addicted to it. Friday Night Lights and Hunger Games, the book. Like
Oh yeah, I
literally,
like them both. Yeah.
I could not put down that book. I was on the treadmill. I was bumping into things. And
Hmm.
trust me, Rudy, you've been around. When's the last time you seen me read a book? Never.
Yeah, I think Finding Your Comic Genius was the last book I saw. It was
Finding my
behind you on the
comic
wall there.
genius.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. That was my last time. That was my last time. What else we got, Rudy?
Brooke Hogan was left out of Hulk
Okay.
Hogan's $5 million will. When I read that, I thought I feel like he's Hulk Hogan. I mean, he should be worth 100 million. When I first read the headline, you remember like there was a little bit of turmoil between Hulk and Brooke. They weren't really getting along. There was some issues that they had
Yeah.
with her career that he kind of stuck his nose into that she wasn't a
Well, and
big fan of.
also he didn't like her dating black dudes and things like that too.
There was a
So
lot of that. Yeah, there's a lot of
a
that.
lot of N
And
words.
Oh man,
A
yeah.
lot of
So
N
he,
words.
in those last few months, he was hated. People hated it. People hated the fact, I mean, he came out during, I think it was a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam or
Got
something,
booed.
and got booed. And one of his last appearances ever, he got booed. And then I started thinking about it, like 5 million doesn't feel like a lot. And I was like, man, he should have way more. But then I started thinking, like, the last probably year and a half, he started selling Hulk Hogan's All American Lager, and I think that's like your last
But you
resort
know
when
what?
you're.
Also, we're thinking of money now the wrestlers make. He came up where he made a lot of money back then, but it wasn't even with the close to what the biggest. It's kind of like football players. Like Michael Jordan didn't make anything close to what these players are making, and he was the greatest ever.
Sure.
You
Yeah, but
know,
then Michael Jordan also took his money and invested it into other things, which
a
also
hundred
makes him,
percent.
because he is a billionaire for sure. So
Yeah,
I just feel like for how much Hulk Hogan merchandise there was and how much television time he had and all the TV shows, like 5 million just feels like so little.
so
But
low.
she basically came out and was like, "Hey, it's fine. I don't listen. I love my dad. We kind of had our relationship the way it was towards the end. It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst. I love him. I just said, hey, I'm doing fine. I don't want your money. Give it to my brother."
I get that. I get that because my parents used to save a lot of money for me. And I had a conversation, it's like they're 80 and 74. And my dad, we all sat down and my mom was like, we saved all this money for you. My dad goes, he's fine. Let's have
Yeah.
fun. And I go,
Yeah.
absolutely. Live your life, man. I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
buy
I
what
think
you
I've
need
told.
to buy.
Yeah, I think I've told you this story. My buddy Brian, his father-in-law was this guy who worked for like a air conditioning company. He was there for 40 years, saved every dime, never took a
Yeah.
vacation, never bought anything nice for himself. Worked for 40 years, waited to get to retirement, was going to travel the world with his wife. After he retired, 6 weeks later, he was dead of cancer. Never spent a dime. So his wife is
Yeah.
just out there just spending it like, hey, I'm doing all the stuff that we said we were going to do. So yeah, enjoy it, man. Why not
Enjoy it.
enjoy it a little bit? Especially for jobs that we have. We can do what we do until our 80s if we want to keep doing it.
And I will tell you this, I know for like 5-6 years, I knew Brooke Hogan really well. She came out with a song. I can't remember. It was a solid song. And I know Y100 in Miami. We played it a lot. And she would do things with her dad at our radio station. That's how
Hmm.
I knew him. And that's how I didn't meet The Rock through him, but I met The Rock when he first started wrestling like when he blew up, like in
Sure.
Miami, right when he was on the cusp of movie stardom and where he kind of looked like he looks now. That's how he looked when he started acting.
Hmm.
He
Yeah.
was thinner, and I felt like he was really thin then because he wanted to fit the Hollywood mold. And then
Sure.
as an
Yeah.
action star, he just got really big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Brooke Hogan's one of the nicest people you will ever meet. I hung out with her a lot. Me, Ryan Cabrera, and that whole team, we would go out to Live nightclub and just throw down. And it was a lot of fun. And she didn't have a problem, at least I knew, with her father at that time because he was actually helping. They actually got along well, I thought, at that time because he was helping her promote the record. You know what I mean? Because a
Hmm.
lot of people be like, a lot of radio stations, not us, say, we won't play the record unless we can do something with you and your dad.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Hmm.
You're like, Brooke, we'll play your record. And then he came down just, hey, thanks a lot. It didn't take him to do
Hmm.
anything for her because that record in Miami was good. It's almost like Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton had a record that I think could have been a number one smash if Gwen Stefani sung it. And they could sound
Sure.
the same. You remember that
Yeah.
song Paris Hilton came, The Tide is High or something like that? Hold on.
Yeah. I do remember that.
It's
She.
Paris
Yeah.
Hilton. Hold on, big song. I'm looking it up right now.
I remember she
Stars
was
Are
on
Blind.
CBS. What
Stars
was
Are
it called?
Blind.
Stars Are
Stars Are
Blind.
Blind. Let me tell you something. And I put my record name on it. I pick hit records. I'm telling you, Paris Hilton was hated so much. If Gwen Stefani would have sang that same song, Stars Are Blind, because it kind of sounds like Gwen Stefani,
Hmm.
it would have been a number one hit. But since
Huh.
Paris Hilton sang it, it wasn't a number one hit. Didn't even come close. It did okay, but
Hmm.
bookmark that. It was such a great, because that's the thing. I'm a bookmark. Well, bookmark it because I
Yeah.
said it and I believe it. That song,
Nice.
Stars Are Blind, was phenomenal.
Right on. All right. Well,
Is
it's
that
not
it?
on my Spotify playlist, but I'll throw it in there
It
for the
should
next
be.
time I'm
You
at the
know what,
gym.
Rudy?
Yeah.
I want you to listen to it for the next podcast, and you tell me, because you got good radio ears too. You were in
Yeah.
radio. You know a hit.
You know. Yeah.
Imagine that song came out in, so you need to know the time period. Stars Are Blind. Paris Hilton studio, 2006. That's right at the end of the boy band craze, but all these girl like Eve, Gwen Stefani, and everybody's blowing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that time. Tell me if Gwen Stefani sung that song, that would not be a #1 hit. It's
Okay.
phenomenal.
I'll give it a listen. I'll take your word. I'll give it a listen. Let's do it.
Yeah. Are you in a hotel?
I am. Yeah. I got it. My flight. I got to be to the airport in about 45 minutes.
All right. Well,
My
get out
flight.
of
Yeah.
here. Thank you so much for watching the Yo Show. New York City. We'll see you this weekend. Annapolis. We'll see you this weekend. Thanks for watching. Later.